Ladies and gentlemen, I have the high honor and the great privilege of introducing Chelsea Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and our governor and the next president of the United States, Bill Clinton.
In 1963, aspiring young leaders from communities across America gathered at the White House to meet President John F. Kennedy. Among them, 17-year-old Bill Clinton from Hope, Arkansas. No one knew this handshake would mark a passing of the torch from one generation to another. After graduating from Hot Springs High School, Bill Clinton left Arkansas to study at some of the world's most prestigious institutions. And then this young man from Arkansas did something unusual. He headed home.
During all the years I was away at college and in England on the Rhodes Scholarship and at Yale Law School, I never intended to do anything but come home to Arkansas and do what I'd wanted to do since I was a boy. To be in politics and put what I'd learned to use here, to work with the people I'd grown up with to help make this state the kind of place it ought to be.
With Hillary's help, Clinton began his career in public service. First as Arkansas's Attorney General.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Attorney General in Arkansas is not only the lawyer for our government, he is also the guardian of the people's interests.
We've had the most active and successful year the Office of Attorney General has ever enjoyed. I've got a fine, hard-working staff. Together we've done our job for the state, giving more legal advice and opinions than ever before.
And eventually, as governor.
15 times since 1974, 15 times. My name has appeared on the ballot in Arkansas. And I think this is the best.
His values helped Arkansas grow economically and transform the state's education system from one of the worst in the nation to one of the best.
We have made, I suppose, more dramatic progress in education in the last year and 2 or 3 months.
Bill, I think, studied very closely what was going to be happening in the future and understood that times were changing and that the kinds of economic opportunities that would be available for not just our state but for our country would be much more directly linked to the type of education that people received. And so he began reforming and improving our education system so that we could become competitive.
We've got more courses, higher test scores, the South's lowest dropout rate, nationally praised reforms that have helped us recruit new jobs. I spend a lot of my personal time trying to bring jobs to Arkansas. But if you want to get good jobs in here, you have to be able to say, if you're governor, my folks are well educated, they're smart, they work hard, and they can learn anything in the world.
While Arkansas was thriving under Clinton's leadership, the nation was at a crossroads. The country's old industrial base was struggling to compete in a global economy. Middle-class families were working hard just to get by. Even the stability that washed over Europe in the decades after the Second World War was beginning to fall apart. And so, on October 3, 1991, Governor Bill Clinton stood on the steps of the old State House in Little Rock and announced that he would run for president.
I refuse to be part of a generation of Americans that celebrates the death of communism abroad with the loss of the American dream here at home. I refuse to be part of a generation of Americans that fails to compete in the global economy and so condemns hard-working, middle-class Americans to a lifetime of struggle without reward or security. That is why I come here today, because I refuse to stand by and let our children become part of the first generation of Americans to do worse than their parents. I don't want my child or your children to grow up in a country that is coming apart instead of coming together. And that is our generation's responsibility, to form a new covenant, more opportunity for everyone, more responsibility from everyone, and a greater sense of common purpose. Make no mistake, this election is about change. Change in our party, change in our leadership, change in our nation. And that is why today I proudly announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America.
The campaign that followed was grueling. But Bill Clinton offered a new vision for the country and a new brand of progressivism, and ultimately, he prevailed.
My fellow Americans, on this day, with high hopes and brave hearts, in massive numbers, the American people have voted to make a new beginning.
With the team they brought together, the Clinton-Gore administration turned the country around. 22 million new jobs, 7 straight years of income growth, the only 4 consecutive budget surpluses in the past 80 years, 100,000 new cops, millions of people moved from welfare to work, record low poverty rates for African Americans and Hispanics, the creation of AmeriCorps, the Family and Medical Leave Act, 2,000 charter schools, 16,000 pages of unnecessary federal regulations eliminated, peace in Northern Ireland and the Balkans, a spike in international trade, the expansion of NATO. After 8 years in office, the old questions about whether progressive politics had run their course were a thing of the past.
My fellow Americans, the state of our union is the strongest it has ever been.
The new question was how the governing principles of the Clinton presidency could be replicated around the world. And for Clinton himself, the question was how to translate his commitment to opportunity, community, and responsibility to his new role as a private citizen. With Hillary now picking up the mantle of public service, the family moved to New York, and Clinton opened the Clinton Foundation offices in Harlem. The foundation immediately set to work helping entrepreneurs in the surrounding neighborhood, but President Clinton's vision extended beyond Harlem's borders. He began working to address some of the biggest problems facing our world.
We try to do what's most effective, and we try to respect the people with whom we work. Even governments with all their resources often fail to affect social change. By and large, you will find that intelligence and ability, aspiration, they're all evenly distributed across the society, but organization, investment, and opportunity are not. So we're there to provide the connection between people's efforts and actions and positive consequences.
Over the past 10 years, thanks to the work of President Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, 4 million people are benefiting from life-saving HIV/AIDS treatment. 12,000 schools are building healthier learning environments. 26,000 micro-entrepreneurs, small business owners, and smallholder farmers are improving their livelihoods and communities. 2.2 million tons of greenhouse gases are being cut or abated in some of the world's largest cities. Since opening in 2004, the Clinton Presidential Center has sparked more than $2.5 billion in economic development in Little Rock, Arkansas. And disaster-affected regions are building back better. President Clinton has also redefined the way we think about giving and philanthropy through his Clinton Global Initiative, whose members have made more than 2,000 commitments that have already improved the lives of 300 million people in more than 180 countries. Bill Clinton's life has been the quintessential American story.
Nearly half a century ago, I was born not too far from here in the little town of Hope, Arkansas. To my dear mother, who was already a widow for 3 months. For 4 years, I lived with my grandparents. They didn't have much money. Nobody did in Arkansas at the end of World War II. Now, it's a long way in America from the family that lifted me up and taught me to live with my failures and disappointments and get up again and again and again.
Because of his story, we've been able to build a world with more opportunity, greater responsibility, and a stronger sense of our shared community.
I believe with all my heart that together we can rekindle that American dream. We can usher in a new era of progress, prosperity, and renewal, an era of opportunity greater than anything any generation of Americans has ever known. I ask you to join with us today, to give me your hands and your hearts, to give me your prayers and your help. I believe that together we can make America great again. And with your help, your heart, your devotion, and your efforts, we can build a community of hope that will inspire the world. God bless you, and thank you very much.